Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about avoiding student plagiarism through training on citation. There are many definitions of plagiarism that I found. These were the two I liked the best. What I liked about them was that they both talk about not acknowledging the source, which is really what we want to teach students how to do. The citation project actually interviews students about their experience with creating citations, and that can be a good resource for educators as well, kind of seeing what students perceive to be the challenges. What I found is that students may just not know to cite. This website, Quora, is kind of like the Wild West of the internet. Anyone can ask a question. If you just put in citation, there are so many questions that people have asked on the site. How do I even begin? So, just interesting to think that we need to teach how this is done. So where do we start? We need to educate students on how to cite sources, the very bare bones kind of information that you need for somebody to get back to a source, rather than them being stuck on how citations look. And the more they do it, I tell them that it's going to be like doing laundry. It'll get easier and easier over time. There was a study conducted by librarians at Eastern Illinois University, and this was a decade ago, but what I think is interesting is that out of 153 papers,
I love you.
So on this graph, way less than 50% of students actually turn in papers with what they need. So as educators, we have to think about why that is. What tools can students use to avoid plagiarism and to help with citations? Off the bat, emailing article citations. I've noticed a lot of times students come to the class and they want to print articles right away. I tell them there's nothing worse than having the perfect article, not remembering where you got it from. Save yourself a lot of trouble, just email it. That citation information will be attached to that email, just like a pretty present, a pretty package for you to use later. We are really lucky in 2019 that there is a competitive market for citation editors. At Oakton, we use Noodle Tools. It is a competitor to EasyBib. Most students coming into classes have heard of EasyBib already. And for free online, there is the EasyBib Google Chrome extension. Another librarian actually showed me this, and it's great. You can go on a website, you can click on this extension, and it will help you to begin filling out information about that website. I like to share my own experience with students in classes. I tell them I used to piece together my works cited last minute. I always saw it as an afterthought that I spent so much time writing the paper. This was one more bridge I had to cross before turning something in. Total afterthought. When the reality is that afterthought is probably the most important thing in their paper. I've had more than 3 professors tell me that the works cited is the first page they read before even reading the paper, because it gives a perspective. Did the student understand the whole topic? Did they look at information about the whole topic, not just one opinion? Were they just Googling? Are these all websites? Are these from library databases? What did they look at? And it also, if you are building a works cited as you go along, you can go back readily and check your own self for unknowingly plagiarizing. So If you're kind of keeping track of those things as you go on, your chances of plagiarizing and being scared about that are minimized because you are actively taking a part in the process. At Oakton, we also made the citation game, which is every student in class gets a slide with different parts of a citation that they have to drag and drop into the correct place, but it actually shows them more what components actually need to be in a citation: author, title, date, etc. So we talked about emailing and not printing. On the Oakton website, under Get Citation Help, we have a page where we talk about the different citation styles. On those, we also include samples that students can look at and compare to their own information. Noodle Tools enables you to paste citations and it'll alphabetize it for you, and then you can export a beautiful formatted works cited to Google Docs, Word, and more. So the takeaways that I want you to know are, while there are many different definitions of plagiarism, it's up to us as educators to inform students on what is available as far as being able to go back to their source and have people who read their paper be able to see what they looked at. And it's important to reiterate to students that the more they cite, the easier it will become. Thank you.